Good morning. What if it doesn't work? What if it doesn't work? That's something that comes up a lot with people I chat with who are thinking about starting the program. What if it doesn't work? What do I do? And even people who are on the program, what if this doesn't work? What if after 1 week I haven't done X, Y, and Z? It's a really interesting thing. And you could apply this to anything in your life, whether it's work, whether it's a new job, when we're jumping around looking for new jobs or something like that, looking for the right job, right work-life balance, all these things that we could look at. Now, I'm going to be walking around in a circle just because this is a Wi-Fi hotspot. In this circle, I've marked it out with rocks on the floor. Joking. So anyway, what to do if it doesn't work? Now, this is a really interesting thing, and I find that there's two types of people with this. Some people will love. Morning, Teresa. Give me a hello if you're coming in. Drop a replay if you are on the replay. There's two types of people with this, and if you are someone who thrives off pressure, if you thrive off pressure, then you might want to have no plan B, where you think, this is what I'm going to do, I'm going to do it. And that's a different type of motivation that you have at that time compared to someone who maybe has a lot of other things going on at the moment. They're unsure. And this is a really important point, by the way, because the route we go through, when someone asks me, what's the plan you do? What do you do diet-wise? It really depends on you because it has to suit your lifestyle. Now, going backwards a bit, if we look at this, you can always do plan B. If you're someone who is worried about it not working, so you put off even starting, and this could be anything, by the way, this could be starting any diet, any exercise program out there, like absolutely anything, then you've got to ask the question, okay, what's the alternative? Because remember, your brain will always look for what you ask it. Your brain will always look for what you ask it. So the quality of your questions will dictate essentially how you feel, your response, and your success. So what's the alternative if you don't get started? What happens 5 years from now? Morning, Tony. What happens 5 years from now if you don't get started? And that question might just help us realize that actually, yeah, if I do nothing here, where am I 1 year from now, 5 years from now? Because worst case, you just go on to plan B. Let's take a scenario with this. Depending on where you are right now, you might want to start something new to lose some weight, get fit, tone up, improve our health, bone density, blood sugar levels, reduce medication, make everyday tasks easier. Who knows? Say yes to more things, quality of life improves, independent. I could go on. These are all the benefits that people tell me. I don't want to end up like my mum, my dad. They're the things that come up. Not me personally, but that's kind of what I get asked. So you might want to start something. Now, the problem is, and Paula kind of touched on this in her post. If you haven't seen Paula's post, if you just scroll down a little bit, I shared it yesterday. And it was a really powerful post. And she said, I'm just going to share this as I've lost over 5 stone. But I was really nervous about even just explaining this because, of what other people would think. You shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. And there'll always be people doing that. And my point here is sometimes we're worried about starting something because we're worried that other people will see that maybe we'll fail a little bit or that it won't well. So how's the weight loss going? And someone else said it, Deborah, who I shared her post yesterday. Someone else people never asked. We had this discussion. People never ask. We're back. People never ask. How you're feeling. How much energy do you now have? It's always straight to the weight. Now, granted, they lost weight anyway, which is great. But for some people, the goal is actually a lot different. It's getting up and down from the floor a lot easier. It's making everyday tasks a lot easier. It's aging well. It's that health perspective as well as the weight, which is related to an extent. But also you got the waist and hips as well, which you also have to consider has a massive correlation with disease. So let's rewind back again as I keep going off on tangents. But the problem is sometimes we're worried about starting because we're going to fail because of what other people will think about starting something. Oh, they're going to think, oh, you're starting another diet again. You're starting another one again. And it's quite sad, actually, that people will put off doing something for them through fear of what other people do. So let's take a quick scenario if this internet lasts this long. I am in the square. I put out a circle here, actually, about where the Wi-Fi hotspot is. So let's put in a scenario here. Let's say week 1, you come in, you've got a lot on your plate, and this happens a lot. You're like, I'm unsure if I can fit in all this. Okay, cool. Let's go for 2 workouts. 2 workouts, and we're just going to sort your snacking out. 2 workouts, and then one thing around your snacking, which if you did, let's just fast space 1 week. Let's say 1 week passes by, you've added in 2 workouts, and you've controlled your snacking better than it is right now. Is that a good week? Yes. Perfect. Now we've set expectations, now we can build on that. And you've got to lower the bar on your first week if you feel like that, because if you lower the bar on your first week, when you feel like that, that's where confidence comes. Confidence comes from doing. Once you've got that confidence from doing, because confidence comes from evidence comes from doing, you can then build on that and go. But what about if that 1 week, what if you don't stick to it? And that's a possibility. Okay, then you come back, you go on to plan B. We change the rule a little bit. But the moment you stop and do nothing, then you've got to ask, okay, what's the alternative now? Because there's always doing something is always better than nothing. You just have to remind yourself of that, because sometimes we get into that perfection mindset. Anyway, I hope that helps. Have an awesome day. Any questions, do let me know, and I'll see you soon. Take care.